everybody. Good to see you guys on here. Ooh, got my lights kind of bright today. My hair's got some major bedhead. Well, happy Valentine's week, I guess. I'm going to be we're getting on a plane tomorrow morning to go to Hawaii to lead our Hawaii Qigong retreat. So we'll be able to go live on Valentine's Day. So you're getting this 2 days early. We're going to be doing a little bit of Qigong to open the heart. So some stuff kind of physically, mechanically to open up the chest and lung area. And then also some energetic practices to tune us into the heart, get the heart tuned up. I'll be coming out with a video as well. I'll probably be publishing it on Valentine's Day. I'm going to be making one around a similar topic for opening the heart. So that might be filmed in Hawaii. We'll see if I have time when I get off the plane on Monday to catch sunset and film that routine and maybe get it out Tuesday. Is that too ambitious? That might be too ambitious, but we'll see. That'd be really cool. What else is going on? Teacher training is coming up. So make sure if you've been planning on signing up, make sure you sign up actually in the next few days, by Valentine's Day. Make sure you sign up because that's when our 15% early bird discount ends. So you can grab that just by putting the code early15. All right. Check it. And all links that's in the description. And if you love this class, you can watch it a couple times this week or catch it forever on my Patreon, which is linked also below in the description, patreon.com/Nick Loffree. And that's kind of a video subscription library featuring all of my past, present, and future live streams. It's not currently featuring the future ones, but in the future, it will feature the present and the past. Okay, so hi, Jacqueline from Scotland. So we're going to do a little Qigong to open the heart. That means even though this is called a Valentine's class, that does not mean we are doing Qigong that's specifically for romance. But basically, whatever relationships you have, whether romantic or familiar or friends or charitable, we want to have a more open heart, don't we? So in Qigong, we actually kind of think of the heart in a little bit more balanced way than you might be used to hearing about in spiritual disciplines. So most spiritual disciplines, when they talk about the heart, they talk about opening the heart, like just infinitely opening it all the time. And in Qigong, we say, yeah, we want an open heart. We want lots of compassion, lots of love, but we also want to make sure that it's calm. And so there's kind of funny terminology in Qigong. We'll actually say one of the conditions that you can have in a Chinese medicine perspective is called excess joy. So sometimes you'll see a list of the different internal organs and the different emotions that affect them. And it'll have like a positive list, the liver, that's your kindness, the spleen, that's your centeredness, kidneys, that's your peace, and then they'll have another list of all the negative emotions that affect the organ. And they'll say, the kidneys are affected by fear, the liver by anger, the spleen by worry, the lungs by depression, and the heart by joy. And they'll just say that without blinking, as though like your brain's not going to like trip over that part where they equated joy with anger, depression, fear, blah, blah, blah. So it's a bit odd. It's a different way of thinking about it. So we want an open heart, and we also want the heart to be protected. There's an extra organ in Chinese medicine called the heart protector. And it is a functional, tissue, a sac around your heart that stops it from overheating, since it's been beating since you basically were conceived. But energetically, it's called the pericardium or the heart protector. Energetically, this sac around the heart in Chinese medicine protects the heart, like emotionally, right? So that if you're in an environment where people are very judgmental or they have a lot of energy and it's kind of getting into you, your heart's kind of protected from whatever that external environment is. That doesn't mean we want it so protected that it becomes hard and calloused, right? We want to find that balance. So generally speaking, that balance means that we have emotional equilibrium, right? Where we're not super reactive with our emotions going up and down in relation to our environment or the people around us. We don't want a sort of knee-jerk, like reflexive compassion where our compassion is disconnected from our reason, from our wisdom, from our ability to think clearly, to plan and strategize. So sometimes the best use of our compassion is over towards a long-term goal, right? The way that we can help people there's the way you can help right now, just like, oh, let me just act out of my heart. I could just right now just go give away all my clothes and all my possessions and everything. Just walk around and just give everything to the homeless. And then I have nothing, but at least I got to, get that out of my heart, right? Or you could have a long-term goal. I'm going to start a nonprofit that's going to go towards a program that's going to help people over the long run in a way that will actually help them in the long run and not just make them feel good today, but make their lives better over a longer period of time. And so in Chinese medicine, we really see this balance as being really important in the heart, right? That we develop this compassionate heart, but that it's balanced with wisdom, with calm, equanimity, and all these other good qualities. But today we're going to focus more on that openness. So just to throw out everything I said, we are going to focus more on the openness today. So most people are a bit on one side of that spectrum, right? We can be very open-hearted, and that makes us very sensitive and kind and a lot of good things, but it can also make us a little oversensitive, right? And maybe over-emotional or overly pushed and pulled by the feelings of people around us. And then other of us are very close-hearted or very protected and strong in our heart, and that makes it so we're hard to push around, right? We're not doormats, and we can be very rational and think of like good plans and everything, but we might never actually do anything with those plans because we don't have that emotional impetus to be open-hearted. So we're all kind of somewhere on that spectrum. Some of us are nicely in the middle, but we want those two sides to kind of come a little closer to the middle and then move upwards where both of those are elevated, where our wisdom and our compassion are elevating together. Amy Ragu says, any ideas about broken heart syndrome? Well, I didn't know I didn't know it had a title with a syndrome and everything, but for a broken heart, what to do about that? I mean, Qigong can be very helpful. I think it's important to use things like Qigong or spiritual disciplines to realize that love comes from somewhere. All the love we receive from other people, it's not really from them. There's a source of love that's beyond people, and that's beyond our own heart. That's beyond everybody else. We're all sort of just prisms reflecting light from a higher source. And when we can touch that source ourselves and feel that love, that source of love that's infinite and everlasting and unwavering, and relax in that and bask in that and just get in touch with that, maybe on a daily basis or just as often as possible. I think that that can help us to be less reliant on that cord of love to that specific person, that specific reflection of that infinite love, to just go right to the infinite love instead of looking for its reflection in someone else. Because it's hard to rationalize yourself out of a broken heart, right? People always will tell you, oh, there's so many fish in the sea. Well, they'll tell you all these rational things. You can't rationalize with a broken heart usually, right? So we need to go beyond the rational to the feeling of love, but to get that feeling from a source that we know we can rely on, that we know isn't going to abandon us, and that is kind of the source of love itself. So hopefully that helps. But again, those are just words, so we're going to have to do Qigong and maybe some other things would help that too. Amy says, it's a medical term, actually. It can create heart failure. But let's be upbeat here. Oh, wow. I actually didn't know that an emotionally broken heart can create heart failure. Well, actually, I have a friend of a friend. He's in jail. He's become psychotic just in the middle of his life. He's a successful businessman and had a lot of friends and everything. And then I think actually a number of medications he took at the same time that were all prescribed might put him into a psychotic break. But he never got any help, and he started doing some illegal activities, and now he's in jail awaiting like maybe a life sentence in court. And he has not been given a like psychological exam to like see if he should be pleading guilty. So nobody in the justice system seems to know he's crazy, and they just want to throw him in jail. But anyways, part of his insanity made him like cut off his whole family. And I guess his dad was like calling his ex-girlfriend and telling her like, oh, I wish you, because he's still friends with his ex or whatever. But anyways, his dad was like heartbroken because his son cut him out of his life for months. And then his dad, I think he did die of like, I'm not sure if it was a heart problem, but he died. And apparently people are saying it's because of the broken heart. So I guess it can happen. Anyways, that's a very sad story for my Valentine's class here. So we're going to get happier with our hearts, get a little excess joy. Maybe we'll get some heart failure from excess joy, huh? I'm taking the socks off. You know what time that means? Socks are coming off. That means it's Qi time. You're always welcome to do Qigong in socks, but it's winter here and the floors are cold. So, and it's hard to grip. Huh? You can't really grip the floor without bare feet a lot of the time. Okay, hope you can hear me and see me all right. Let's begin with just a little bit of breathing. We're going to start with breathing into the 3 chambers. So beginning with the lower chamber. That's our lower dantian. So let's get into a nice Qigong stance here. So when we breathe in Qigong, we're not just standing however, we're standing in our Qigong stance. That means feet hip to shoulder width, knees soft, tailbone heavy, crown of the head light, shoulders pulled down your back, and then just relax them. Elbows floating away from the ribs, whatever kind of. Our hands are between the navel and the pelvis. That's where our dantian is, in between those. Now we're going to find our breath there by breathing through our nose, tongue gently touching the roof of the mouth, just behind the front teeth. And just start to encourage a little bit of movement of your breath down here to the lower abdomen. See if you can feel that, not just expanding forward. So as you inhale, the belly should expand, and exhale, it should relax. But also feel as you inhale that the breath goes into your lower back slightly, to the back of the dantian. So you inhale, and it's not going to be nearly as much movement, but a little tiny bit of movement at the back, a little expansion, then relaxation on the exhale. And then we're going to come up to the solar plexus, kind of feeling the breath here in the ribs and solar plexus, this area just below your chest. Feeling the same thing. Inhale, expanding, not just at the front, but the sides and back of this region. Usually the front will move the most, but just looking for a little bit of movement there around the sides and back. Coming up to the chest and feeling the chest and collarbones expanding and relaxing. Again, not just the front, but the sides and back, upper back. going to slide one hand back down to the lower abdomen. And we'll find our 3-part breath or wave breathing. So as we exhale, empty everything out. And then inhale, fill up the belly first, lower abdomen. And then the upper abdomen and ribs. And then the chest and collarbone area. And then exhale from the chest, then from the ribs, then from the belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. A few more slow breaths. Slow, soft, deep. Okay, let's release. And we'll start to move with spinal cord breathing. So we're going to make light fists, open the chest, and bring the fists and elbows together, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone. And then bring your chest forward, squeeze your shoulder blades together. We'll start to use our breath here. Nice long exhale, sinking the chest back. Inhale, pulling the chest through. Exhale. Inhale. All right, let's bring it down. We're going to start to warm up the body a little bit. This one's called the pump. We're just swinging the arms up and down. And we're finding 2 bounces on our knees. So the knees go 1 bounce, 2 bounce. That means they bend, straighten, bend, straighten. We'll add our breath here. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And let that exhale out the mouth. So as you come up, feel like you're opening the heart and lungs here. And as you come down, feel like you're opening the low back or the kidney energy. Good. Drop and relax. Similar exercise, more side to side. I'm going to lift the arms up shoulder height. Drop one hand behind the back, one hand in front of the body. It's like this, hand behind you. And then we come up. And the other side, one hand in front, one hand behind. Keeping the weight 50-50 between the feet, so we're not doing this. Staying centered here, and we're just turning. Here we have a bounce in the knees as well. We go bend, straight, bend, straight, bend, straight, bend, straight. We just do that as a small, quick bounce. So the arms are pretty relaxed. Once you have the movement, add the breath in through the nose, out the mouth. In the nose, out the mouth. Just a small and soft but quick breath. Usually when we breathe out the mouth in Qigong, it's considered a cleansing breath to release stagnant Qi. And you think here in particular, releasing stagnant Qi from the heart. Good, let's slow it down. I'm just gonna check my class that I wrote down here real quick. Okay. All right, let's open up with a little stretching. This one's called the owl turns its head. Nice one to open up the neck and shoulders, but also the chest. So we're gonna start with a Qi ball. Holding a Qi ball. Fingers are at the bottom of the ball, thumbs are at the top. Ball's in front of the dantian. Then we're gonna open our owl wings out to the sides. Our thumbs are rotating to point behind us, and our fingers are gently pulling down. At the same time, we're opening the chest. So we're kind of standing a little taller, lifting and opening the chest. And then we're going to turn the chin over one shoulder. And then come back to the center with the head and the arms, but also with the posture. So we sink the chest, sink the posture. And then we open, standing taller, lifting and opening the chest, and turn the head to the other side. And then sink the chest. Open the chest. Inhale. Sink the chest. Exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, sink. And then hold the stretch on one side for a nice stretch from the jaw, down the neck, down the arm to the thumb usually. Back to the center. And to the other side, we'll hold the stretch. Nice opening down the neck and arm. Back to the center. Release, shake it out. Very good. All right, this next one, it's going to open our hip flexors and our chest and arms. It's called the Phoenix. It's a bit more physically demanding, so if you're feeling a little sensitive in your joints or knees or anything today, I'll show you a couple of variations. So basically, let's find a nice wide stance. And again, if you're feeling, just like not up to something really intense right now, you can do it seated and just do the upper body movements, or make this stance not too wide, just a little wider than the shoulders. But if you really want to get into it, nice wide stance, we're basically going to turn to our left into a lunge. So the back heel should be up. If you're in a little gentler position, you have that back heel down, that foot maybe 45 degrees. Okay. So kind of the longer the stance, the more challenge, more strength, the more stretch you're going to get. Okay, so what we're going to do is cross the wrists with the palms face up. I'll show you a little bit from an angle. We're going to spiral the hands over the head so they turn face up as they get over us. And then they're going to press out to the sides, palms face away from you, pressing out as far as you can with the fingers spread to stretch and open the arms and chest. As we do that, we're going to sink down into our lunge looking for a stretch on the hip flexor. Then we're going to straighten the legs, drop the hands, cross the wrists, spiral the hands over the head, palms are face up. And then they press out as we sink our hips to stretch the hip flexor. But as our hips sink, our chest is actually going to lift and open. And then the chest sinks as the hips lift. Hips sink, chest lifts. Chest sinks, hips lift. Exhaling. Heart sound, ha. Inhale through the nose as we lift. Exhale, ha. Inhale through the nose. Okay, we come to the center. Turn the toes back forward towards me. Separate, press down. And we'll turn to the other side, either into a small bow stance or a long lunge. Or again, you can do this from a chair if you need to. Just do the arms. We're going to cross the wrists, spiral over the head. Palms are face up. Then they face out as we sink. Cross the wrists, straighten the legs, spiral up, sink, pressing out. Inhale. Exhale, heart sound. Inhale. Exhale, heart sound. One more. Turn to the center. Press down. Good. Step in. Give it a little shake. Very nice. All right. Let's open up the back of the body a little more. Nice gentle stretch here. This is sort of forward fold, but we're doing it with a little different intention. So usually when we do a forward fold, we're like hinging from the hips. We're really trying to stretch these hamstrings. This one, our forward fold, is a bit more like trying to distribute the load across the whole back of the body, back of the neck, back of the back, and back of the legs. And so the stretch winds up looking a little more like this. Knees are a tiny bit soft. Back is gently curved. Arms are hanging in front of the toes. So we're not trying to stretch directly towards the toes, but it's in a relaxed way, arcing forward in front of the toes. So, and we're going to move between these two positions, pushing the hips forward, opening the arms and chest, looking up, and then rounding and curving gently into this gentle stretch, pulling on the back of the body and then opening up and expanding the front of the body. You can just breathe naturally here through your nose. Just repeating slowly. Feeling the body here like a rubber band. Stretching the rubber band across the whole body, not just into one part. All right, come back, relax. And let's just do one more to clear the heart, and we'll get into our flows. So here we're going to tap on the chest, on the sternum, and follow up and down here. We have lots of little acupoints along the sternum here. And we'll want to stimulate all of them, so go from the top to the bottom of the sternum. We'll do a few clearing breaths with this. So take a nice inhale through your nose. Fill up the chest. Feel like you're beating a drum here. And then we're going to exhale out the mouth. Using the heart sound. Ha. Again, inhale. Then hold the breath. Then heart sound to release. Inhale. Good. Brush it off. Whew. All right, and let's shake the whole body. Again, exhaling with the heart sound in through the nose, out the mouth. Let's pause and feel the body. Just let the breath be natural through the nose. Feel the tailbone heavy, the crown of the head light. Check your feet. They should be hip to shoulder width. Should be comfortable. Should be no pain in the knees, ankles, or hips. So the feet need to be wider or narrower. Toes are meant to point forward, but if that causes any pain, you can turn them out. Just find a comfortable variation of this Qigong stance for you. We're going to take our palms face down, a little wider than the shoulders. And let's take a couple deep breaths here. Again, feeling the tailbone sinking towards the earth, the crown floating towards the sky. Fingers and toes spread. Start to move from here to an exercise called opening the chest. Start to enter our mindful movements here. Here the palms come up to about shoulder height. Palms are face forward, and we have a sense of opening outwards. Not quite to the feeling of stretching. So it's just a gentle opening outwards, feeling like the fingertips are reaching out, not till the elbows are locked though. The elbows are just a little soft. And then we come back down on a gentle curve back to our original position, palms towards the earth. So palms face forward as we open up, expanding outwards. And palms turn down as we close. This is our exhale and our inhale. Exhale, closing, sinking. Inhale, open. And notice it's not just my arms moving, but the chest is sinking. And opening and lifting. Same with the pelvis sinking. And coming up and forward. This is pulsing the energy up and out through the heart. Heart's energy likes to move upwards and outwards, and then downwards and inwards, following the trajectory of the kidneys. Pulsing between water and fire, up and out, down and in. Come back to that position called Wuji, meaning neutrality, neutral standing position. We're going to touch the pinky sides of the hands together. This is where our heart meridian travels to the inside of the arm and the pinky. Heart and small intestine are two fire channels are in this area. We're going to scoop forward. Curl in, the back of the fingers touch each other. We come in by the heart and pour downwards. Back of the hands against each other. And the palms turn towards each other and float up like a bird opening its wings. Then sink the elbows and wrists and float down. Edge of the palms touch, connecting the fire channels. Reaching forward, send the hips forward. Back of the hands come in towards each other. And pour down. Follow the hands down, send the hips down and back. And then opening the wings, lifting the chest up. Sinking down. Connecting. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You can imagine here like there's a rising sun on the horizon. We're gathering that golden sunlight, pouring it down into the heart. And like the heart becomes warm and light, it lifts us up like a hot air balloon. And then we settle, finding calm and peace in the heart. Inhale, gather. Exhale, pour into the heart. Inhale, a warm, light heart lifts you up. Exhale, settle the heart. Gathering sunlight. Rising. Settling. Down, relax. Back to that position. We're going to float up this last major exercise we'll do. It's called the lotus. You're going to touch the thumbs and first fingers. Drop it down. Rise up to the heart. Press that diamond forward. And come down, in and up. Back of the fingers touch. This is the lotus blooming in the heart. Pause here. Then release. And start again. Inhaling up. Form the diamond over the head. Exhale down. Inhale back up to the heart. Exhale, press it forward. Inhale, curl in and up. And exhale with a sigh, the heart sound, release. Inhale, touch the sky. Exhale, touch the earth. Inhale, touch the heart. Exhale, expand the heart energy. Inhale, loop it back in towards yourself. Heal the heart with a deep breath. And release any pain or stagnation from the heart with that sighing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. All right, we're going to add a little sort of prayer to this. This comes from the Buddhist tradition called, I just forget, metta, called metta meditation. So to cultivate love and kindness in the heart. So here, after we push, we're going to maintain this as a standing posture. Arms just like embrace the tree, just with the hands flipped forward. You can imagine this like a prism, this diamond, like a prism that we can send the light of the heart out through. So we're going to imagine somebody that we know that is easy to love. Maybe that's a child, a romantic partner, a sibling, a parent, somebody that just, a best friend, somebody that you just have such an easy time feeling love for. Whoever that easiest person might be. Once we have them in our mind, we're just going to sort of repeat this prayer internally. So I'll say the words, and then you just repeat it in your mind. Feel free to say it out loud, but you only need to say it in your mind. So it goes like this. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. And we'll curl it in. You can inhale, breathe into the lotus in the heart. And exhale with a sigh, releasing. Floating up, inhale. Exhale down, back through the flow. The next person we're going to think of when we get to the position is somebody that we feel sort of neutral towards. We're going to hold the position. So this could be, somebody you see at, like a convenience store worker, or somebody at your work that you don't really talk to, but you kind of see them there. Maybe a neighbor on your street who you've seen going in and out of their car, but maybe you've talked to a little bit, but you don't really know them very well. Just somebody you have a very neutral feeling towards that you don't really think about very often, but that exists and you don't have a conflict with. Once you find that person, we'll think the same little prayer. And really try to feel the words in your heart and see if you can get your heart to really mean them emotionally. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. Curl it in. Inhale. So we're expanding our circles of love. The love that comes most naturally is the love for family and friends, and then strangers, and finally people we have conflict with, our enemies, the hardest to love. Let's see if we can generate some loving kindness towards them. Holding the position, thinking of someone that you have a heartfelt conflict with, perhaps as far as hatred. If you can't think of a person, it might be a group of people. Once you have them in your mind, we'll think the prayer and we'll really try to feel, even if it's just the tiniest spark of love, just breathe into that little seed. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. Bring it in, inhale. Now this time we're going to pause here, breathe naturally. Pause at the lotus. For some of us, the hardest person, sometimes even harder than our enemies, to direct love to is ourselves. Well, actually, traditionally this begins with yourself. But one thing East Asian culture has found funny, or that Tibetans at least found funny, is that Westerners often have a hard time loving themselves. It's a really interesting concept for them. But so we'll end with that actually. So we're going to repeat the same prayer just with I in place of they. So see if you can take that love you've been sending to others and try to refer to yourself. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. Let's take a deep breath in. We'll release with a big sigh. Let's go through that flow one more time, just with the breathing. Inhale. Touching the energy of heaven. Exhale. Touch the energy of earth. And now bring heaven and earth into the heart. Exhale, expand that loving field from the heart. Inhale, make that field a loop of energy going into and out of the heart. Exhale with a sigh, release any last stuck bits of energy there, stuck stagnant chi. Then we're going to float up and just find our pulling down the sky. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Now just breathing through the nose. And just scanning, moving your attention to heaven. Infinite spacious sky above, bringing that spaciousness as awareness through your body, down into the dense, solid comfort of the earth, up into the infinite adventure of the sky. Scanning through the body. Step it in for bamboo in the wind. You're just allowing the body to relax, allowing the breathing to be natural. Just look through your body and notice where you can let go into this swaying and rocking. You can release any tension that's blocking the flow of chi. Very good. And we'll step out and circle the belly. Center over the dantian. Take a deep breath in. Let's release with a big sigh. Very nice. Feel free to move around or stretch. Very good. All right. Well, sorry, just reading your comments. Good. Well, good to have you guys. Thanks for joining class. Hope you have a great Valentine's Day. And I'll tell you a little secret. If anybody's feeling lonely on Valentine's Day, one of the best hacks for loneliness is thinking about somebody else who might be lonely and focusing on helping them to not feel that way. And funny thing about loneliness is it tends to go away when you find another lonely person. And I don't mean that romantically. I mean, just, there's plenty of sad, lonely people on Valentine's Day. So if you're feeling sad and lonely, maybe think of your grandma, think of your neighbor, find somebody who's maybe in even a worse place than you, and see if you can help them out. Also works great at parties. Ever go to a party and you're like kind of standing there and you don't like know who to talk to or what to say, and you're all self-conscious and everything. Best thing you can do is find somebody else who looks uncomfortable and just focus on making them feel comfortable. And it'll make you feel comfortable right away, and you'll have a real good friend. All right, glad you guys like the class. As usual, if you want to watch that forever access to that class, you can get it on my Patreon. Big thanks to all my supporters on Patreon who are already signed up, and have some of you for a long time, for like 2 or 3 years or longer. So huge thank you to you guys. But if you're on the Patreon, I mean, there's tons of classes on there. So sign up for that. Links in the description. And again, we only have a few days left. I think you have till Valentine's Day to get the early bird discount on the upcoming teacher training. So that's code early15. Put that in at checkout. And the link and info and everything is down below. That teacher training starts March 11th online, 12-week online program. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you soon.